Hey everyone, this is Krisha Young here, your executive coach, and I work with high-performing people who have got stuff to do in this lifetime and do not have time to be burnt out or to have all of this stuff in the way of them becoming their absolute greatest self. And my mission on the planet is to help you get out of your own way so that you can actually step into what you know is possible for you in this lifetime in a really amazing, aligned, beautiful, soulful, calm, centered way. So today what I wanted to talk about is habit change and the whole 21 days to change a habit. And I'm recording this on March 18th. I believe it's the 18th, yes. March 18th, 2020. And if you're watching this today or in and around this date or after this date, I guess, you'll know what's going on in the world right now is the coronavirus. And we're facing some very uncertain and unprecedented times, really. We've never had anything like this ever. And a lot of people are in fear and uncertainty. And a lot of people are also spreading a lot of joy and a lot of love. It is a time for rising consciousness. It is a time for people to really take a minute to examine their lives and how they've been operating and, create some positive change in your own lifestyle. And part of why I'm here is to help people at the individual level, which means you personally, become a better version of yourself. Because when you become a better version of yourself, then what happens is you ripple effect that into everybody else in your life, your kids, your spouse, your friends, your colleagues, your team members, all of that kind of stuff. And as a leader, it's really, really, really important that you do that, right? Like how you show up is an example of how other people can show up. And, I want to make sure that you are showing up as your absolute best self and that you have the tools to be able to do that. And a lot of that work is the, cleaning and clearing up your inner game, right? You know this already. You see it from a lot of the leaders out there that, their mental and emotional and spiritual health is one of the most important things to focus on above and beyond all the metrics, above and beyond everything else, because all of those other external things will take on a whole different flavor and meaning and results when you are coming from a more calm and centered place. And when you're coming from that more overwhelmed, burnt out, tired, exhausted, pleasing everybody else, like looking externally for yourself, distracted, disconnected self, you know that you're going to have different results, right? So as we're sitting here on March 18th, and if you're watching this in 2021 and all this is behind us, like who knows what the world is going to look like at that point. But whenever it is that you're watching this is going to apply. What we're all looking at right now, pretty much across the world, except in China and some parts of Asia, they have reopened back up their factories and they've reopened back up their restaurants and things like that. But what we're looking at in Europe and in more of the Western world is shutdowns. And I'm here in Toronto right now, and like all of our restaurants are closed, or most of them are. And we're a city who loves to go out. We're a city who loves to dine and be social and be with people, go to bars and have a drink and all this kind of stuff. Go to theater and we've got the CN Tower and we've got Ripley's Aquarium. We've got so many amazing things. And all of that right now is shut down for a very, very, very good reason. Of course, we need to stop the spread. And so social distancing is something that is occurring right now. And a lot of people are hunkering down. A lot of people are staying at home. So this is an amazing opportunity, and not going to work or having to change their work routine. So now that they're working from home. So this is an amazing opportunity for all of you right now. And this message is for everybody, which is so awesome. Because collectively, if we can make this change, then what will happen is the aftermath of everything that's going on right now will elevate us to a higher consciousness, will elevate us to a higher way of being than what we were operating at before, which was more fear and scarcity based and disconnected, right? So the more people who can get into this higher vibrational level of inner knowing and calm and doing the self-care and the positive things for themselves, that's going to have that ripple effect, and we're going to raise the vibration, raise the consciousness of humanity across the board. So I'm very kind of excited in a way for this opportunity for all of us to be able to elevate and become better versions of ourselves. We have the time right now, we have the opportunity, so let's use it for that, while at the same time we're looking at ways to pivot how we used to sell, how our businesses are run, how we used to run our lives, all of it. It's an opportunity for us to look at it all. So 21 days to change a habit. What are we going to do here? So I wanted to talk to you about this because now you really do have an opportunity. You, if you were commuting to work before, you're not commuting right now, maybe, right? You're working from home. And so what that means is, like, let's say it was 45 minutes or half an hour. Most people, that's what we're looking at, right? Half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes 2 hours if you're in LA, sorry. I love LA and I love the traffic in LA. But you know, if you live there, you probably don't. Actually, it'd be interesting to see how the traffic in LA is right now. Anyhow, so you don't have that anymore at the moment. So you can use this time now, because we all know time is this excuse, I don't have the time. Well, you do now. You do have the time now, which is amazing. So what can you fill that time with? And what I would love for you to fill that time with are some effective self-care practices that are going to help elevate that vibration level within yourself, help you ground, help you get more centered, help you tune into your intuition, help you know yourself better, even better, so that when you are with your teams, when you are at work, when you are with your clients, when you are thinking about how you're going to pivot, you're doing it from this place, as opposed to, oh my God. And even if you are one of those people who look calm on the top but are scattered underneath, like a duck, you know, on the water, super calm on the top, but like this underneath, that this energy underneath is what is creating the results on the outside. And we seem to have this addiction to, you know, needing the chaos in order to be able to thrive, this addiction to having all of that like craziness in order to catapult us into action. But what happens is that if we're doing it from that place and we're catapulting into action, we're taking action from fear. Whereas if we can just calm that down a little bit and get to a place of where we're still like brewing, we're still inspired, and we're still like, yes, we still have that energy brewing with us, but it's coming from a much deeper place. Now you just watch how creative you are. Just watch how in your ingenuity, right? And this is what we need right now. We need leaders to be creative and have ingenuity and show up in ways that we weren't showing up before, so that we can lead everybody through whatever is going on right now, which we don't know what is to come. Okay. So you've got this 21 days, this 3 weeks possibly of being off, or a change in routine. And now is the time for you to try something new. So let me just talk real quick about the 21-day thing and where that comes from. So it actually can take a lot longer for a habit to fully ingrain, or it could take a lot shorter. So the 21 days actually came from a study of amputees. And you can learn more about this in Psycho-Cybernetics. There's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics, and which actually would be a really great book for you to start reading right now. And it was basically the amount of time it took for amputees to realize and come to terms with the fact that they no longer had a limb. So obviously, you know, we have memory, we have body memory. And if we lose a limb, then we still think that that limb is there. So there would be that like movement to go reach for the coffee, that movement to go reach for something, or walk or whatnot, when actually there's nothing there anymore, right? But our brain still thinks it's there. So we have that groove in our brain, right? This is where neuroplasticity and all this, all that science comes in. So we've got this groove in our brain that says we still have an arm, and it can take up to, well, it showed in this particular study that it took up to 21 days for these amputees to realize, oh, I don't have an arm anymore, and reprogram their brain to recognize, I need to now do things in a different way. Okay. So this is pattern change. This is, like creating some new neural pathways in your mind. And that's what habit changes. So when you are embarking on a new habit, a lifestyle change, a lifestyle habit, such as, let's say, creating a new morning routine for yourself that includes doing something like meditation instead of going on your phone. I found out today that there's a coronavirus app. Not sure how I feel about that, but like going on that first thing in the morning, I would not recommend that at all, because that is just gonna feed whatever it is that needs to be fed there. It's not to be informed. There's something else there if that's the first thing that you're looking at in the morning. And it sets the tone for the rest of your day. Okay. So I would really recommend that you start your day with like a meditation or some sort of other morning routine that will infuse some sort of positivity into your life. So you've got the change right now. Now, I know you. Yeah, I am you. I want you to do one thing, not 10. Okay. Classic overachiever. I'm going to do all the things, right? Like, and they've got to be done perfectly. And it's like, go big or go home, right? I get this, which is great. It is a really amazing way to evoke change. And this is what leaders do, right? Like, so I'm not knocking it. However, it can also be our biggest nemesis when it comes to personal change, because we then take on 50 things to do and then do them all really crappily, or it's too much because we've already got a full schedule and all these other things going on. So it drops off. And self-care, personal, all that kind of stuff is like the first thing that drops off. We pay attention to everybody else first, right? And so I'm asking you to be aware of that need to do all the things, that need to make it perfect, that need to go big or go home when it comes to personal development, because that's not how it works. Personal development is deep work, and we are reprogramming neural pathways in your brain, and that takes time. Okay. So give yourself the gift and the uncomfortable gift of doing one thing, picking one thing. So if it's meditation, then do that one thing. Meditate every morning for the next 21 days. And if after 21 days you're still not fully anchored in it, that's fine. Just keep going, because this is a lifestyle change. This is not a one and done. This isn't something like, you're going to do it and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I meditated for 3 weeks and now my life has changed. It's a lifestyle change. And what will happen is the more you do this, the more you practice it, the more you're going to get like addicted to it in a good way. So rather than being addicted to looking at your phone and the apps and getting into the rabbit hole of Facebook or any of those social media apps that then at a subconscious level make you feel like crap and full of fear, you now have this beautiful practice that you're starting, and you're starting to see the results of it, because you're starting to think differently. You're starting to see the world in a different kind of way. You're starting to really, truly trust yourself in a new way that you never did before. You're starting to establish some better boundaries and some deeper self-worth that you weren't able to access before, and trust yourself at a whole new level. When you recognize that that is coming from these practices, these healthy self-care practices that you're going to be developing over the next 21 days, you're not going to want to give that up. And when things go back to normal, which they will, it'll be a new normal, but they will go back to normal. This will be something that if you do it, it will be sacred. You'll be like, nobody, like, it's my zone of terror. If anybody saw Friends, that episode of Friends, right? It's my zone of terror. Nobody interrupt my meditation. Nobody like it is a non-negotiable. And for a lot of leaders, a lot of my clients, a lot of the people that I've worked with over the years, when they start to implement some self-care, they have a tendency to that being the first thing that goes off the list when things go crazy. And I'm always reminding them, no, no, the thing that's going crazy is the thing that can wait. Your self-care, your personal development, your own connection to what it is that you're learning and processing through needs to be your number one priority, not whatever chaos is going on. Because if you're letting go of your personal stuff and then you're facing the chaos, then you're going to be facing it from this frazzled space, right? So you do your meditation first. You do whatever it is that you need to do, whatever personal development. You can read books. You can journal, you can exercise, you can do yoga, you can do a chi machine, you can read positive affirmations, you can pray. Like there's so many things that you can do first thing in the morning that will allow you to get into a deep, nice personal space within yourself and then set your day up for positivity for the rest of the day. Then you can go on your app. And guaranteed, if you go on your app, if you go onto Facebook, if you go into any of these things and you set your day up for success in that kind of way, you're not going to get as drawn into the rabbit hole. And you're going to be seeing this with, a different view. You're going to be able to tell the difference between something that is fear and something that is fact, right? And you'll be showing up more as a true leader who your people are going to be like, she knows what she's talking about. And I feel very safe around her. He really feels secure. I trust him. I want him to keep leading me. This is what we want, right? And that is the ultimate goal here as leaders, is for us to be in a place of having people trust us and not follow us, but understand that like how we show up is an example to what the potential is for them to show up in that way too. And this really truly honestly starts with you being able to do prioritize your own personal self-care. Okay. So you've got these 3 weeks, go and do it and report back. Let me know. I would love to know what it is that you're doing. If you need any support, I've got a ton of suggestions and ideas in the Calm in Your Chaos free toolkit, which you can find in the links below this video. So make sure you grab it. It's totally free. And there's a lot of ideas in there for you to, start prioritizing these kinds of self-care routines. And I would also recommend that while you're doing the actual action, to also pay attention to what are the limiting beliefs that are coming up for you. So usually it might be, it's not the right time, I'm too busy, I'm doing it wrong, like whatever the story, whatever that blah, 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 blah voice is inside your head, journal on it, write it down on a piece of paper or whatever. Like, don't be afraid of the word journal, just write it down. Pay attention, because that voice is what is the voice that stops you. Okay. That's your subconscious belief system that is there. It's that shadow. It's the one that you can't see clearly, because if you could, you would have transcended all of this. You wouldn't need this, because you would already be doing it. Okay. So, and there's no shame in that. It's just how we all are wired. So please let me know. I would love to know what your routine will be, what you're going to do over the next few weeks. And even if you're watching this and the 3 weeks has passed, you don't need to have some sort of crisis like this in order to implement this. Like, just start implementing it right away in whatever your lifestyle is at the moment. Because it's going to be important either way, whether we are in a global crisis or not, right? This was important before coronavirus happened, and it's critical now, and it will be important in the years to come for humanity, for leaders to really pay attention and prioritize this kind of work. So I would love to hear from you, and thank you so much for being here. Make sure you grab the guide below, subscribe so that you get future videos, like this video and all the other stuff that all the YouTubers say in order to help more and more people see this content and be able to really step into their absolute, like, ascended selves. So this is all about creating ascended men, ascended women, ascended humans, so that we are really living out our purpose and our passion in this world and being of great service to humanity as we go on as leaders. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I would love to hear from you. Thank you, and bye-bye.